So, I think we all got that one homie with RIZZ. Like, every time they open their mouths in front of a crush, they end up basically saying the worst thing possible. Like, for example, my 42-year-old homie Terrence. You see, a couple weeks ago, my man completely fumbled the bag trying to talk to his crush, this girl Angela that was his wife. And the worst part of the whole thing is, Terrence's RIZZ became my problem. And let me tell you, helping out a homie who has RIZZ is as hard as being Pomni and trying to escape back into reality in The Amazing Digital Circus, a new adult animation pilot featuring black comedy and psychological drama, which I've had plenty of time to watch since my adult son Gyro went away to college at the University of something or other. I'ma keep it real with you. The last time he called and told me where he was, I wasn't listening because I was busy coming up with my own darkly comedic adult animation OCs, like Bellox the Frog. And the thing is, when my son finally hung up and I got a chance to get back to enjoying psychological dark comedy, my phone rang again. And this time, it was my 42-year-old RIZZ having homie Terrence. Yo, Terrence, make it fast, bruh. I need to get back to rewatching The Amazing Digital Circus so I can laugh at all the psychological dark comedy again. Yeah, well, I got some bad news for you. There's someone who doesn't like The Amazing Digital Circus. What? You mean an NPC with literal brain rot? No, my wife. Bruh, what? You see, we sat down for our nightly routine of rewatching The Amazing Digital Circus so we could laugh at the psychological dark comedy for the 30th night in a row. Now that is what I call psychological dark comedy. Hey, why aren't you laughing?
Terrence, I know this is your favorite show, but, well, we're 42 years old and this is like Nickelodeon humor. I mean, I'm sure it's great for 12-year-olds, but
What did you just say? You think 12-year-olds could appreciate darkly psychological adult animation?
I mean, it's just like a crazy character is acting crazy, and then the normal character is like, and this is normal behavior for Blagazord, and then the crazy character is like, yeah, totally normal.
That's great. You should produce your own psychological dark comedy. Now take back what you said about The Amazing Digital Circus.
That I'm sure it's great for 12-year-olds?
Excuse me. 12-year-olds watch cartoons. Amazing Digital Circus is animation, and animation is cinema.
But this is just like those kids' Beetlejuice cartoons we used to watch in the 90s.
Take that back now.
But it's just my opinion.
Then you are nothing but an NPC with literal brain rot. And then what happened? She kicked me out of the house. Bruh, you know why? Because I called her an NPC with literal brain rot? No, because you have RIZZ. If you had RIZZ, she would have understood that her opinion about dark comedy adult animation was wrong. Okay, well, how can I get better RIZZ so she takes me back? Takes you back? Just divorce her, bruh. I've been divorced for 10 years and now I have plenty of time to not only enjoy psychological dark comedy, but even to work on my own OCs that are... So wait, you live by yourself? So as it turns out, my homie's wife's name was on the mortgage for their condo, and since he got kicked out, he had no place to stay. So I let him crash at my place that I pay for with the alimony from my divorce. And even though he was desperate and I could have charged him way above fair market rate for rent, I only charged him slightly above fair market rate. And no cap, I was actually looking forward to having a roommate who also enjoyed adult animation. But the next day at 8 a.m., when I had finally finished watching Amazing Digital Circus video essays for the night and was about to go to sleep, I heard a loud noise and I was like, yo, Terrence, what are you doing? And he was like, going to work? And I was like, and for you, making a bunch of noise at 8 a.m. so you can go to work is normal or... Oh yeah, totally normal, I do it 5 days a week. We gotta get your wife to take you back, bruh. So we started trying to make a plan to get Terrence back with his wife. But pretty soon I realized he had about as good of a plan for rizzing up his wife as Pomni does for escaping the digital circus. Like his first suggestion was, maybe I should just apologize for calling her an NPC with literal brain rot. And I was like, bruh, she said a psychological dark comedy seemed like a Beetlejuice cartoon from the 90s. She does have brain rot, bruh. Wait, did you tell her that animation is cinema? Yeah. Okay, so she knows she was wrong about Digital Circus, which means there must be another reason why she kicked you out. It's time for an investigation. So I don't know how many of you have ever done a deep dive on your homie's ex, but it's like Ragatha hearing about the centipedes in Gangle's room. You find out some things you don't want to know. Like, the first thing we did was look at her Snap story to see if she had posted anything. But she hadn't, so that was out. Then I remembered that she was in her 40s, so we checked her Facebook. And bam, she had just written a long post on some relationship advice page, and it was about the amazing digital circus. Yo, what? She said, every night my hubby makes me watch this kids show pilot, and after the 30th viewing I admitted that I don't enjoy it, and then he accused me of having something called brain rot. Okay, Terrence, bro. What do you think this means? Maybe she really didn't enjoy it? Nah. Think about it. This is a public post. No way any adult would publicly admit to not liking an adult animation with a notoriously toxic fan base unless they wanted to get called out by said fan base and have their posts spread all over so a certain someone would be guaranteed to see it. You mean me? Yeah. She wants you to think she's sitting at her Lenovo ThinkPad engaging in animation fandom discourse instead of doing what she's really doing. What is she really doing? I'm sorry, bro, but she definitely got a new man. No other explanation for why she'd straight up lie about not enjoying digital circus. But the good news is we can bust her in the act of cheating, and then you can get that apartment in the divorce, and I can go back to my normal 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. sleep schedule. So, I don't know if y'all have ever done a stakeout, but it's serious business, because you don't know how long it's gonna last. I mean, you need tactical gear, you need food and supplies, and you definitely need enough battery power to rewatch your favorite dark psychological comedy animations on repeat. So, we packed up and me and my boy set up outside his ex's condo to get the evidence of her affair that we needed to get him out of my house for good. And sure enough, as soon as we got there, we saw her with the dude she was messing around with, except it wasn't exactly a dude. I was like, bruh, look, she's having an affair with a female, and they're doing some kind of freaky cardboard box stuff, come on. So I started banging on the window and was like, yo, you're busted. Get ready for the worst divorce settlement of all time. And she looked out the window and saw me and was like,
Who are you?
I was like, I'm Terrence's fandom mutual. And she was like,
What does that mean?
and I was like, yo, Terrence, come back. But he had run off. And when I finally caught up to him, I was like, bro, you were supposed to take pictures of your ex cheating on you with her new lover. And Terrence was like, that was her sister. I think she was helping Angela pack my stuff. You didn't say that I was with you, did you? And I was like, yeah, of course I did. And he was like, now she's never going to take me back. And I was like, so what? Don't you want to be divorced like me? And he was like, no, because I'm feeling depressed. And I was like, I know what will cheer you up. So I got my phone out and started playing the amazing digital circus. And that's when I noticed something. My homie wasn't laughing at the psychological dark comedy. I was like, what? And he was like, maybe this is just the depression talking, but I think I was too harsh with Angela. This is more of a kid's show. I mean, I'm sure the young people who haven't already seen the Beetlejuice cartoons we grew up with would enjoy it, but you have literal brain rot, bro? No, I don't have brain rot. And now that I think about it, neither does
Your wife?
And then Terrence basically gave up his man pass for the rest of his life by apologizing to Angela for saying she has brain rot. But she accepted his apology and took him back. And while it might not have been the way I expected it, I finally had my home back to myself. Yep, I was now free to wake up at 4 p.m. and work on my darkly comic adult animation about Bellox the Frog, who gets trapped in an online dictionary and befriends talking pronouns. And once the characters were all done, I went on Fiverr to hire animators using the rent money I'd be getting from... Oh no. That's right. Now that Terrence moved out, I didn't have any extra money to hire animators to make my adult indie animation. I was feeling bad, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, so I tried to cheer myself up by turning on my laptop to watch the amazing digital circus pilot and try and find some more Easter eggs, but even that got interrupted by my son Gyro visiting from college. And when he came in, he was like, what are you watching? And I was like, you haven't heard of the amazing digital circus? Where have you been? Trapped inside a digital circus like Pomni from the amazing digital circus? And he was like, oh, I guess I have heard of this. I guess it's okay. And I was like, just okay? Why don't you make your own indie animation? And he was like, well, doesn't animation take like a lot of money or at least a lot of time to make? And I was like, Yeah, exactly. Sure, I can make a better indie animation than Amazing Digital Circus, but I don't have enough money, and I definitely don't have enough time. And then Jaro was like, okay, well, I'm sick of talking about indie animation. I'm gonna go see Mom now. And I was like, wait a minute. With my son leaving, it looks like I'm gonna have a whole lot of time. Yep, I could finally stop focusing on my family and start focusing on the pilot of the Twisted CGI Carnival.
It's showtime.
Where am I?
You're in the Twisted CGI Carnival, and I'm Blagazord. Wow!
And this behavior is normal for him?
Oh yeah, totally normal.
This is great. Yeah, using simple drawings to try and squeeze a few drops of relatable humor out of real life is out. Psychological dark comedy is in. And old Gerald Brusnick is about to cash in to the tune of millions of...
Okay, well, I'm ready to leave this CGI Carnival.
You can't leave unless you...
I got sucked into my own dark psychological comedy animation. And for more of the Twisted CGI Carnival, go to